Welcome, I am Grace. I am so glad you have returned to this quiet space tonight. Take a moment to settle in, knowing that for the next few hours, there is nowhere else you need to be and nothing else you need to do. Close your eyes and let your body sink into your bed. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, feel every muscle in your body softening, from your shoulders to your feet. A wave of calm is washing over you. You are safe. You are warm and you are ready to let go. Tonight, the snow is falling heavily outside, but we are stepping into the golden glow of the Alpine Express. The train is waiting for us at the station, puffing steam into the cold night air. Let's leave the world behind and step inside our private carriage. The world outside is a canvas of endless white, a silent kingdom ruled by the winter frost. You stand on the platform of a secluded station, tucked away deep within the heart of the high mountains. The air here is sharp and clean, so cold that it feels crystalline. Sparkling with every breath you take, tiny, intricate snowflakes drift down from a velvet sky, dancing through the pale glow of the station's lanterns before settling softly on the thick carpet of snow beneath your boots. There is a profound silence here, the kind of silence that only exists in the mountains at midnight, where even the wind seems to hold its breath. Then, from the darkness of the pine forest, a golden light appears. It is small at first, a flickering ember in the distance, but it grows brighter, casting long, warm shadows across the frozen tracks. You hear it before you see it clearly, a low, rhythmic rumble that vibrates through the soles of your feet. A heartbeat echoing against the granite peaks, the Alpine Express emerges from the mist. A magnificent silhouette of polished steel and brass, puffing clouds of white steam that swirl into the indigo night. As it slows to a graceful halt, the metal groans softly, a sigh of arrival. The train is a masterpiece of a bygone era, its dark emerald carriages gleaming under the station lights. Golden pinstripes run along its length, and the windows glow with a rich, amber invitation. A conductor in a heavy wool coat stands by the open door, his breath visible in the air as he nods a silent, respectful welcome. As you lift your foot to step onto the brass stairs, you leave the freezing mountain air behind. The moment you cross the threshold, the temperature shifts. You are suddenly wrapped in a cocoon of incredible warmth. The air inside smells of expensive beeswax, aged cedarwood, and the faint, comforting aroma of roasted vanilla beans. The hallway of the carriage is lined with deep, plush carpeting that swallows the sound of your footsteps, leading you toward your private compartment. The walls are paneled in dark, lustrous mahogany that reflects the soft light from the crystal sconces. Every detail is designed for stillness. You reach your door, a heavy, solid wood entrance with your name engraved on a small silver plate. As the door glides open, you find your private sanctuary. Inside, the light is dim and golden. A wide, velvet armchair sits by a large, panoramic window, and a bed layered with silk sheets and heavy down comforters awaits you. On a small side table, a porcelain pot of tea sits beside a single, flickering candle, its flame steady and calm. You move to the window and press your hand against the glass. It is thick and cool, separating you from the howling winter storm outside. Out there, the pines are bending under the weight of the snow, but in here you are untouched. You are in a world of absolute luxury and safety. A gentle whistle echoes through the valley, and with a soft, almost imperceptible lurch, the train begins to move. The station platform begins to slide away, the lanterns becoming small sparks in the dark. The rhythmic click-clack of the wheels starts slowly, a steady, hypnotic pulse that tells you the journey has truly begun. You are now a passenger of the night, moving deeper into the snowy wilderness, protected by the strength of the iron and the warmth of the wood. The journey is long, the night is young, and the rhythm of the rails is already starting to pull you toward a deep, effortless rest. Now that the train has claimed its rhythm, you take a moment to truly settle into your private world. The compartment is a masterpiece of craftsmanship, a small, elegant room that feels more like a hidden library than a train carriage. You run your fingers over the walls, feeling the grain of the mahogany. Cool and smooth under your touch, the air is perfectly still, carrying a faint, nostalgic scent of old books and dried lavender. In the corner, the small candle continues to burn, its golden flame dancing slightly with the subtle swaying of the train, casting soft, playful shadows that climb the ceiling and vanish into the corners. You move toward the large, plush armchair, its deep emerald velvet shimmering in the low light. As you sit down, the chair seems to embrace you, its cushions molding to your shape, supporting you in a way that makes your muscles sigh with relief. You pull a heavy, hand-knitted wool throw over your lap, feeling its warmth immediately seep into your skin. From this vantage point, the panoramic window becomes your personal gateway to a dreamscape. Outside, the world has turned into a blur of silver and shadows. The moonlight reflects off the fresh snow, making the forest floor glow as if lit from within by 1,000 tiny lanterns. The trees are passing by in a steady, rhythmic procession. Deodar cedars and ancient pines stand like silent sentinels, their branches heavy with thick white blankets of snow. Occasionally, a branch gives way under the weight, sending a soft cascade of powder into the air, swirling like diamond dust in the wake of the train's golden light. You watch as the train rounds a long, sweeping curve, allowing you to see the engine far ahead, a powerful beast breathing fire and steam into the freezing night, its headlamp cutting a path through the falling flakes. Inside the carriage, the sounds are muffled and soft. You can hear the faint creak of the wood as the train leans into the mountain's embrace, a sound that feels organic and grounding. There is a small brass dial on the wall, and as you turn it, the lights dim even further, until the only light remaining is the soft blue of the moon and the warm amber of the candle. In this semi-darkness, the boundary between you and the journey begins to fade. You are no longer just a passenger, you are part of the movement, part of the night. On the small table, the porcelain cup of tea has reached the perfect temperature. You lift it, feeling the steam rise against your cheeks, a gentle dampness that carries the scent of honey and chamomile. With every sip, you feel a sense of internal warmth spreading from your chest to your limbs. Untying the last remaining knots of tension, the click-clack of the rails has become more pronounced now, a steady, unwavering meter that matches the pace of a resting heart. It is the sound of progress without effort, of moving forward while staying perfectly still. The train begins to climb higher now, the engine's hum deepening as it tackles the steep alpine slopes. You feel a slight tilt in your seat, a gentle pressure that reminds you of being rocked in a cradle. Beyond the window, the forest begins to thin, revealing glimpses of vast, white valleys stretching out toward the horizon. Untouched and pure, the scale of the mountains is humbling. Yet you feel completely protected within your velvet sanctuary, here, high above the sleeping world. There are no clocks, no deadlines, and no noise. There is only the wind, the snow, and the hypnotic song of the Alpine Express. A soft curiosity draws you from the comfort of your chair. You stand up, feeling the gentle, rhythmic sway of the train beneath your feet. Acting like a natural guide for your balance, you slide the heavy mahogany door open and step back into the dimly lit corridor. The hallway is silent, save for the muffled hum of the wheels and the occasional soft chime of a crystal lamp. You walk slowly, your feet sinking into the thick, royal blue carpet, passing other closed doors where fellow travelers are already lost in their dreams. As you reach the end of the carriage, you pass through a heavy set of glass-paned doors and enter the observation deck. This is the heart of the Alpine Express's elegance. The entire ceiling is made of reinforced, curved glass, offering an unobstructed view of the heavens. Here, the air feels slightly cooler and fresher, carrying a hint of the crisp mountain wind that dances outside. You find a reclined leather lounge chair and let yourself sink into it, looking up. Without the lights of a city to dim them, the stars are breathtaking. They are not just tiny points of light, they are brilliant. Pulsing jewels scattered across a vast blanket of indigo silk, the Milky Way stretches above you like a river of silver dust. Flowing between the jagged peaks of the mountains, occasionally, a shooting star streaks across the dark void. A fleeting brushstroke of light that disappears before you can even catch your breath. In this moment, you feel a profound sense of connection to the universe. A reminder of how vast the world is and how peaceful it can be. The train is now crossing a high stone viaduct, a bridge suspended between two massive cliffs. You look down and see nothing but a deep, snowy abyss. The moonlight reflecting off a frozen river hundreds of feet below. The sound of the train changes here, the lick-clack becomes hollower and more hoy as it bounces off the ancient stone arches. It is a hauntingly beautiful sound, a mechanical song echoing through the empty valley. You feel as though you are flying, gliding through the cold night air on a path of iron and light. On the far side of the bridge, the train enters a thick grove of silver firs. The branches are so close to the glass roof that they occasionally brush against it with a soft, sweeping sound, shush, shush, like the whisper of a secret. The interior of the observation deck is quiet. Most of the passengers have retired to their rooms, leaving you alone with the stars and the mountains. You watch the moonlight play upon the polished brass railings, creating patterns of light that shift and flow with every turn of the track. You notice a small, ornate clock on the wall, its golden pendulum swinging with a slow, steady grace. It doesn't seem to track minutes or hours, but rather the heartbeat of the journey itself. Time here has no meaning, there is no tomorrow to worry about. No yesterday to regret, there is only the now, the warmth of your wool sweater, the cold beauty of the Alps, and the steady, unwavering movement of the train toward the horizon. As the train begins to descend into a wide, moonlit basin, you feel a deep sense of contentment. The vastness of the landscape outside only makes the interior of the train feel more intimate and secure. You take one last long look at the constellations above before deciding to return to the warmth of your own bed. The journey is continuing, the mountains are watching over you, and the rhythm of the rails is waiting to sing you to sleep. Leaving the starlight of the observation deck behind, you walk back through the velvet-lined corridors. But your journey back is interrupted by a soft, warm glow emanating from the dining car. You decide to step inside for just a moment, drawn by the irresistible atmosphere of quiet elegance. At this hour, the great hall of the carriage is empty of people. Yet it feels alive with stories and history. The heavy curtains, made of thick damask, have been drawn back to reveal the passing snowy slopes. And the tables are perfectly set for a morning that feels a lifetime away. The room is bathed in the soft, low light of shaded silk lamps that sit on every table. Their amber glow reflects off the fine silver cutlery and the crystal water glasses, creating a field of shimmering stars right here inside the train. You walk past the empty tables, noticing the crispness of the white linen cloths. So white they almost match the snow outside. The air here carries a different scent, the ghost of a gourmet dinner. Hints of truffle, red wine, and the sweet, lingering aroma of freshly baked bread. It is a comforting, domestic smell that contrasts beautifully with the wild, untamed wilderness pressing against the glass. You find a seat at a corner booth, the leather cool and firm against your back. As you sit in silence, the acoustics of the train become your focus. Without the sound of conversation, the music of the mechanical journey is much clearer. You can hear the rhythmic linking of the fine china in the upboards, a delicate, metallic tinkling that sounds like tiny bells ringing in time with the rails. It is a gentle reminder of the constant motion, a reassurance that you are being carried forward through the dark, Frozen night. Outside the window, the landscape has changed. The train is now winding its way through a narrow mountain pass. The rock walls are so close you could almost touch them. Their jagged surfaces covered in a glaze of ice that sparkles like diamonds under the train's exterior lights. The moonlight cannot reach the bottom of this canyon, so the world beyond the glass is a deep, mysterious blue. Occasionally, you see the frozen waterfall of a mountain stream. A motionless curtain of ice suspended in time, waiting for the spring that is still months away. In the corner of the dining car, a small, vintage record player sits on a sideboard. It isn't playing music, but the golden needle rests near the edge of a vinyl disc. A silent promise of the melodies that usually fill the space. The stillness is profound. It is the kind of quiet that invites reflection. The kind of quiet that makes you feel like the only person left in the world. You realize that out there, in the villages hidden in the valleys below, people are tucked into their beds, perhaps hearing the distant whistle of the Alpine Express as it passes by like a ghost in the night. The train begins a long, slow whistle, a deep and mournful sound that echoes 3 times against the canyon walls. It isn't a warning, but a greeting to the mountains. You feel a wave of relaxation roll over you. Your head leaning back against the leather headrest, the warmth of the room, the steady vibration of the floor, and the hypnotic sight of the ice-covered rocks sliding past are all working together to pull you deeper into a state of blissful lethargy. You stay there for a few more minutes, savoring the solitude, before finally deciding it is time to return to the ultimate comfort of your own bed. Standing up from the booth in the dining car, you feel a pleasant heaviness in your limbs. The relaxation is no longer just a feeling, it has become a physical weight. A gentle pull toward the earth. You begin your slow walk back through the connecting bellows of the carriages. As you move from one car to the next, there is a moment where the sound of the wind grows clouder, a sudden, rushing whistle of the cold alpine air as the metal plates shift and slide beneath your feet. It is a brief reminder of the elements outside, making the transition back into the heated, carpeted hallway feel even more luxurious. The corridor of the sleeping car is now even quieter than before. The wall sconces have been dimmed to a mere golden glimmer, casting long, soft shadows that stretch along the mahogany paneling. The train is moving with a rhythmic swing now, a side-to-side motion that feels like a giant, mechanical cradle. You find yourself timing your steps to the lick-clack of the rails, left, right, your body moving in perfect harmony with the pulse of the machine. As you pass the small windows in the hallway, you notice that the snow has begun to fall even more heavily. Huge, heavy flakes are swirling in the air, illuminated for a split second by the light from the corridor before they vanish into the dark. The forest has vanished, replaced by a vast, open plateau of white. It looks like a frozen sea undulating under the pale moonlight. There are no tracks here, no roads, no signs of human life, just the Alpine Express cutting a lonely, brave path through the winter wilderness. You reach your compartment door and feel the cool touch of the silver handle. Pushing it open, you are greeted by the familiar, comforting scent of your private space, that mixture of wormwood, vanilla, and the lingering steam from your tea. The candle you left burning has melted down significantly, its flame now a tiny, steady heartbeat in the corner of the room. The air in the cabin is perfectly tempered, wrapped in a stillness that feels almost sacred. Before you close the door, you look back down the empty hallway one last time. The perspective of the long, narrow corridor, with its repeating patterns of light and shadow, has a hypnotic effect. It feels as though the train could go on forever. A timeless vessel traveling through an eternal night. You step inside and slide the door shut, and the click of the lock is the final signal to your brain that the world is officially shut out. You move toward the bed, but stop for a second to look out the panoramic window once more. The train is passing a small, frozen lake now. Its surface is as smooth as a mirror, reflecting the stars in the glowing windows of the carriages as they pass. It is a fleeting, magical sight, a ribbon of golden light gliding across the ice. Your eyes are growing heavy now, the lids fluttering as you watch the silver landscape drift by. Every vibration of the floorboards beneath your feet feels like a massage, loosening the very last bits of tension in your shoulders and neck. You are so close to the dream world now you can almost feel its edge. With a long, tired sigh, you finally turn toward the bed. It has been prepared for you with meticulous care, the heavy duvet folded back to reveal sheets of the finest Egyptian cotton, feeling as cool and smooth as the surface of a frozen pond. You sit on the edge of the mattress, and it gives way just enough to cushion you, supporting your weight with a gentle firmness as you slide beneath the covers. The initial coolness of the sheets quickly transforms, absorbing your body heat and creating a pocket of perfect, radiating warmth. The weight of the down comforter is immense and comforting, like a soft, heavy cloud pressing down on you, anchoring you to the present moment. You pull the covers up to your chin, burying your face slightly into the oversized pillows that smell faintly of fresh linen and wild mountain herbs. Just as you settle in, the light outside the window suddenly vanishes. The moon, the stars, and the snowy plains disappear in an instant as the Alpine Express enters a long tunnel cut deep into the granite heart of a mountain. The change in atmosphere is immediate. The click-clack of the rails transforms into a deeper, more resonant roar, a powerful echoing sound that vibrates through the very bones of the train. But inside your cabin, this sound is muffled and distant, like a lullaby played from another room. In the absolute darkness of the tunnel, your other senses sharpen. You feel the subtle, side-to-side rocking of the carriage more intensely. No, a rhythmic, swing motion that mimics the gentle movement of a ship on a calm sea. It is a primitive, soothing rhythm, a heartbeat that tells you that you are being carried safely through the dark. In this total darkness, the small candle on the side table becomes the center of your world. Its tiny flame casts a flickering, orange glow against the dark mahogany walls, creating a dance of light that is impossible not to watch. Your eyes follow the shadows as they stretch and shrink, rhythmic and steady. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for this cocoon of luxury. Outside, millions of tons of ancient rocks surround the train, and beyond that, the freezing alpine winter continues its icy reign. But here, wrapped in silk and wool, you are the master of your own warm universe. The train begins to slow down slightly as it navigates the darkness of the tunnel. The vibrations become softer, more delicate. You find yourself breathing in sync with the train's movement, a deep, slow inhale as the carriage leans to the left, and a long, relaxing exhale as it centers itself once more. Your thoughts are beginning to lose their edges, drifting away like the steam from the engine. The memories of the day, the worries of the world, and the noise of life are all being left behind in the tunnels of the past. Gradually, a faint blue light begins to seep back into the room. The train is approaching the end of the mountain pass. You watch the edge of the window, waiting for the world to reappear, and then, with a soft rush of air, the Alpine Express bursts out of the tunnel and back into the moonlit night. The landscape has changed again. The peaks are even higher here, their jagged summits piercing the starry sky like silver needles, but your eyes are too heavy to follow them now. The bed is too soft, the warmth is too perfect, and the dream world is finally reaching out to take your hand. The Alpine Express is now descending into a vast, sheltered valley, where the wind has died down and the air seems to have turned into liquid silver. As the train moves lower, the roar of the mountain peaks fades into a soft, rhythmic whisper. The engine slows its pace, the wheels turning with a deliberate, languid grace. You can feel the change in the vibration beneath your bed. It has become a delicate hum, a soothing frequency that resonates with the deep stillness of the valley floor. Through the panoramic window, a small alpine village appears, nestled beside a frozen river. It is a scene from a fairy tale, frozen in time. The wooden chalets are buried up to their windows in snow, their steeply pitched roofs carrying thick, white caps that sparkle under the moon. Not a single soul is awake, only a few chimneys breathe thin ribbons of wood smoke into the air. Rising straight and tall into the windless night, you watch as a single yellow light flickers in a distant window and then goes out, leaving the world in perfect blue-toned darkness. The train glides past the village like a silent shadow. The lick-clack of the rails is muffled here, as if the snow itself is absorbing the sound, wrapping the entire valley in a blanket of silence. You feel a profound sense of peace watching this sleeping world. For a moment, you imagine the people in those cabins, tucked under their own heavy quilts, dreaming while you drift past them on your iron sanctuary. The boundary between your dream and their reality starts to blur. Your body feels incredibly heavy now, as if you were becoming part of the bed itself. The silk of the sheets feels like a second skin, cool and soft, while the warmth of the duvet keeps you perfectly insulated from the frozen world outside. You watch the dark silhouettes of the pine trees as they slowly pass by one. Like a slow-motion countdown to sleep, your breathing has slowed to a deep, effortless rhythm, each exhale carrying away the very last traces of wakefulness. The train is now crossing a small wooden bridge over the frozen river. You hear the subtle change in the sound, a low, hollow thrumming that lasts only a few seconds before returning to the soft song of the rails. The river below is a jagged path of ice and dark water, stilled by the intense cold. Looking at it makes you pull your covers even closer to your chin. Savoring the incredible luxury of your warmth, you are safe, you are protected. You are being carried through the heart of the winter by a machine that never tires, on tracks that lead only to rest. The cabin is now almost entirely dark, the candle having burned down to a tiny, glowing ember. The shadows have stopped dancing and have settled into a soft, velvet gray. Outside, the valley begins to open up into a wide, endless plain of white, where the horizon disappears into the stars. There are no more trees, no more houses, just the vast, beautiful emptiness of the high Alps. Your eyes close for a few seconds, then linger open just a crack. Watching the moonlight pulse against the wall, the world is retreating. The journey is almost complete. You are standing at the very edge of sleep, ready to let the rhythm of the Alpine Express carry you over. The world has finally fallen away. The mountains, the snow, and the stars have all dissolved into a singular, soft haze of blue and silver. Your eyes are closed now, and you find that you no longer need to look outside to know where you are. You can feel the journey in your soul. The Alpine Express is no longer just a train. It has become a steady, humming extension of your own breath. The rhythmic click-clack of the rails has slowed to a whisper, a distant, ancient heartbeat that guides you deeper and deeper into the silence. Inside your compartment, the last flicker of the candle has faded, leaving only the soft, natural glow of the moon reflecting off the snow-covered plains. This light doesn't disturb you, it bathes you in a cool, ethereal peace. You feel completely weightless, as if the bed and the carriage have turned into a raft of silk, drifting on a calm, endless ocean of starlight. There is no gravity here, only the gentle, swaying motion of the train as it glides through the heart of the night. Every muscle in your body has surrendered. Your shoulders are soft, your hands are relaxed, and your mind is as clear and quiet as the frozen lakes you passed hours ago. The sounds of the train, the faint creak of the wood, the rush of the wind, the steady pulse of the engine, all merging into one single, beautiful note of harmony. It is the sound of absolute safety. It is the sound of being exactly where you belong. The train is entering a vast forest of white now, where the trees are so thick they muffle every sound. The world is perfectly still, The journey continues, and it will continue all through the night, carrying you across borders and through valleys while you remain cocooned in this warmth. You don't need to know the destination is here. The destination is this peace. Your thoughts are like tiny snowflakes, drifting down slowly and disappearing into the dark, one by one. They vanish, the train moves on, steady, rhythmic, eternal. You are drifting now, floating between the stars and the snow, leaving the waking world far behind. The rhythm of the rails is your lullaby. The warmth is your shield, the night is your home. Sleep now. Let the Alpine Express carry you into the deepest reaches of your dreams. The mountains are watching, the stars are guiding. You are safe. You are held, you are asleep.